1, 2, 3.
Hi there, James Scott, Scottish Resistance, Sean Quirkin, Scottish Resistance. We're here in George Square today. We're at the Robert Burns statue. Robert Burns' words were, "Man's inhumanity to man makes countless thousands more." And my God, would he not be mourning now when he sees the state of this world and all the wars that are going on? It's a dreadful world that we're living in at the moment. Now, here I have a copy of what's called the Kellogg-Briand Pact. This is a copy of international war law. This is what they don't want you to know. This is what governments of the world don't want you to know. Because this is an international war law that was made after the First World War. Now, the First World War was called the War to End All Wars because all the countries of the world signed a document called the Kellogg-Briand Pact, the renunciation of war. They made it clear that any nation at all that engaged in war was guilty of war crimes. Now, folks say that this no longer stands, but this has never been repealed. This law is still on the go. In fact, this law was used to prosecute the Germans in the Second World War. It's the law of renunciation of war. It quite clearly states among all the nations that have signed it. It was even stamped by the seal of the United States of America and the president at that time, Herbert Hoover, that they would never go to war again. And all they've done is go to war. These people who are the elite do not obey their own laws. We need to put a stop to war. We need to get as many people as possible to understand that this is international war law. Would you like to say something about this?
Yes, I would. I'll just give you this. Now, the pictures that we've got here before you, the photographs, is Raytheon. It was Raytheon missiles that actually bombed Syria last Saturday. And essentially their share price jumped enormously and they have made millions out of the bomb strike. The fact is, the so-called chemical attack that it was based on, we now know never took place because Robert Fisk, the internationally renowned journalist and award-winning journalist, went to Douma, and it has shown that it was basically a conventional shell attack where basically with the wind and dust it created hypoxia in the cellars of Douma, where basically people were short of oxygen. There was actually no chemical attack. And the Organisation for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons has gone into Douma and are still carrying out an investigation. So for Theresa May and Donald Trump and President Macron of France to go ahead and bomb Syria before the Organisation for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons went in to do their investigation was tantamount to war crime. And that's why last Sunday down in Berwick we went to Berwick Police Station and asked Northumberland Police to take a report from us, a report of a war crime, that Theresa May committed a war crime by breaking the Kellogg-Briand Pact of 1928, and that she committed a war crime. The police there in Northumbria refused to take that report. And they says that the Prime Minister could not be reported for a war crime. She's above the law, according to the Northumbria Police. So the rest of us mugs standing here can be prosecuted for political activity, but not Theresa May. The fact is that on Monday we then went to Stewart Street Police Station here in Glasgow to get Theresa May prosecuted for war crimes, to report her for war crimes, and again they refused to take her report. So we're living very much in a police state. And just to finish off, on Wednesday a wee protest by the Disabled Persons Against the Cuts had two special branch officers in plain clothes coming up to us and saying, "What are you up to?" He's demonstrating against Marks and Spencers. So they're only out to protect big business and very powerful and rich individuals. That's all the police are for, and they will not prosecute any of the elite in Westminster for war crimes. And we're saying to you here today, we're saying, go to your local police station, make it crystal clear that they should be reporting. The police should be prosecuting Theresa May for war crimes for the bombing in Syria, because it was an absolute scandal that happened, because no chemical bomb attack took place at all. It was basically a false flag promoted by the White Helmets, who are part of the Al Nusra Front and the jihadis. The bottom line is that's what they are, and the fact is that no actual chemical bomb attack took place, and Theresa May should have waited until the Organisation of the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons carried out their inspector's report, and because no chemical attack took place. And what they've done by bombing Syria is commit a war crime under the Briand-Kellogg Pact from 1928. It's an absolute scandal, and we will continue to say these people are war criminals. That's Trump. That is May, Macron. It goes back to Tony Blair in 2003, the dodgy dossier, when there was no weapons of mass destruction. All it is Western imperialism and British imperialism, and that's all it amounts to. And the Scottish resistance will continue to oppose that. And that's what we've got to say.
All right, thank you.